Okay, we are live here. So we're going to be digging in today on how to be maximizing your workouts. I'm just going to double check that we are live. 1 second. Just Facebook did a thing. Yeah. Okay. So with your workouts, you can have somebody who is the most um, the most athletic person that you have ever met in your life. And all of a sudden during your career, you get to a point where you have nagging injuries and you're taken out of your workouts. And then you have other people on the job where they're able to really work out and kick hard. So there's a couple of things that need to be happening for that, and there's different reasons as to where their body's at. So I'm going to go through that with you. I do see that there's people on, so if you guys could write in the comments as to where you're at so that I actually really know what level to be speaking to you guys. Are you able to really kick butt in your workouts and if you're doing like CrossFit or really hard tactical training, are you able to still really kick butt? Or are you more at the end where motivation and drive is not allowing you to really get there, or nagging injuries have taken you out? Where do you stand? Because I understand mentally, most of you guys are, if you're anywhere where I was when I was in burnout, is I would go and I would try to push and I would try to do things because mentally I am this like athletic person that pushes in things, but my body couldn't do it. So let me know where you're at so I really know where to be speaking with you guys. So the first thing is that we really need to understand is that in your job, depending on which you guys do, also tell me in the comments what you are so I can really relate it to your job. Police, you guys carry between 25 and 40 pounds, depending on the service, of equipment on your body. You have fire where you guys are carrying motivation low, calls get in the way. Okay. So motivation and so fire, you guys carry 75 to 100 when you're on calls and when you're in your training. And paramedics, you guys are all over the map depending on who you are needing to be taking care of and lifting and all of that. I know that you have means to help you, but you can't always use them. So there's all kinds of different things. So let's take a 12-hour shift. On that 12-hour shift, you are pushing your body through an endurance workout with the extra weight on you. Then every time that you are rushing to a call, every time, it doesn't matter if the call is cleared, when you rush to a call, it sends out your cortisol and your glucose, all of your stress hormones, stress response, so that you have that adrenaline to be able to fight the fight and the glucose to be able to give you that gas for the fight. And every time that you go to a call, you can get there and it's cleared, but your body just pushed like a CrossFit circuit. So pretty much in your shift, if it's a 12, 24, 48, whatever you're doing, you're already doing a huge endurance workout. And then you have CrossFits all the way in between there. Add in a foot pursuit, add in what it takes to put a fire out. Add in like a motor vehicle accident for a paramedic where you have to get in and be lifting and transporting or transporting somebody downstairs. I had to do that with my neighbor when he broke his hip upstairs. So there's so many different things with you guys that happen in your shift. Now, the other thing that we really need to look at is first, BJ, your fire. Okay. And I'm going to assume 24-hour shifts as well. And so every time as well, you're on the call. So your motivation's low. So you're trying to work out at the station, I'm assuming, BJ, and then you get on a call and you're going to a call. So what I'm going to say is going to make sense as to why sometimes too you come back from the call and you just don't have that motivation there. So you have a certain amount of stress that your body can hold. Some people, I like to think of it almost as a bucket because I'm visual. Some people call it your body burden and your stress burden. So there's only so much stress your body can have. You're already pushing yourself with 24-hour shifts. You've got your 12-hour shifts, overtime. You're already pushing your body on that. You're pushing your body when you're working nights. You're pushing your body when you can't get to food. If you're on a call, you can't get to food most of the time, depending we did talk about that last week about having food stuffed all in your pockets and everything. But when you're on fire, BJ, that's just not possible. And so there's so many different stressors that you just have on the job on top of what you deal with the calls. Then you've got administrative stress. When we've got promotions, you're now not only in charge for your life, but you're in charge of the lives of everybody that's under you. And anyone that I talk to, when we start going through the stress symptoms that pop up for you guys, as soon as there's a promotion, quite often the stress symptoms increase, the sleep or the short fuse or the motivation and drive, the more brain fog with reports, all of these things. So there's so many different aspects to be thinking that you already have that are filling your bucket of stress. And then we have the physical load that your body's already taking. Now, normally when you started your career, for somebody who doesn't have all of that stress already in their bucket, going and doing a workout is great because it does push your body. It gets that stress response going. It puts more cortisol and glucose running through your body. It really gets your systems going and it taxes you, and it's great. But if your body is already at a point where your bucket is almost flowing with stress, that workout can actually can overflow your bucket. It can put too much stress into that bucket. And what starts happening is your stress system then starts sending you symptoms. And it does different symptoms at a time. So you may find that you were able to kick butt workouts on any shift, no matter what. Then you may have found that after certain shifts that you were doing, that some of them you struggled to work out with after. You may have had nagging injuries coming in. Your sleep might start getting off, where you used to be able to work out and then go to sleep, and now you can't. You may find as well that the next day you're a little more moody, or a couple of days later, it's when that short fuse comes out. And then what happens is, as you get these symptoms over time, if you're taken out with an injury, now your body has to be repairing that injury, which puts more stress on your body. You're not getting sleep. And so you're more stressed because you're sleep deprived. Your body's not able to heal during that sleep. Then you get that short fuse means that your mood hormones are off, as well as your nervous system always switching into that hypervigilant tells you that you're in that stress nervous system. You're kicking into that quick, and you're not in your resting nervous system, which is when your body repairs from a workout and repairs from your shift. So your body's not repairing either from your workouts. So all of these things start happening, and it gets to the point where you start going into a workout, and you get this, you start where you go, and your energy does increase once you get there. And then it gets to the point where you go and your energy starts depleting once you get there. And you start getting more of those anger signs after. And then it gets to the point where you're struggling to even get to the workout. So it's all of these different things that just start compounding over time. And eventually what happens is, when you have so much stress, when you are sending out stress hormone after stress hormone all the time through your body, your brain is a part of your stress system. So you have your brain, you have a pineal gland in your brain, and then above your kidneys sit your adrenals. So you may have some low back pain when you're stressed. Sometimes that is your adrenals telling you that they need support. They're the size of a grape in the shape of a walnut, right on top of those kidneys. So your brain sits there and says, hey, you are sending out way too much of this cortisol. We have this stress energy hormone. We need to start decreasing that for you. Like, this is just too much, because you go and we clean it up. You go and you clean it up because your body isn't using all that you're needing of it. And so you start decreasing and decreasing that cortisol, which has you starting to wake up more exhausted. Your motivation starts decreasing, your drive starts decreasing. At first, most people do see it in their workouts, but then it starts hitting in the day. You may find as well, BJ, tell me if this is for you, is how you're good on a call. You're on a call, and that's because your body is still sending out enough cortisol for you. But after the call, it lowers it back down big time again. And when it's lowering it back down to that point, trying to do the reports after a fire or after a call, it's like your brain is so foggy that just trying to remember the details of the call is hard, and it takes all of your energy. That trying to actually get there to go for a workout, your body is like, hell no, we don't need any more cortisol being pushed out into our body. We don't need any more glucose. There's no way you're going to that workout. And it just, your energy is just so low that you can't get there. And so that's what's happening in your body. But your brain is sitting there thinking like, hey, I'm this athletic person. I am strong. I need to be strong on this job. And I need to be in order to keep myself safe. So you just try to keep mentally pushing there, because what your body is doing on the inside and what your brain is and who you are as a person are totally combating each other. So depends on where you're at with all of that. If you are starting to get these symptoms, and that is your body telling you that either on certain shifts, you should not be working out after, or it's telling you that on all of your shifts, your body can't handle it yet. Sorry, getting a dry throat. So the thing is that with this, it's really understanding. So people that come into my program, they come in at all different levels. It really depends. There are some that come in and can't work out for maybe the first 3-6 months. They can't do like a CrossFit workout or a tough workout. And then we've got people coming in where they are doing CrossFit, or they can't do CrossFit, but they can maybe go for cycles again. Maybe in the first month, they can start getting into certain things. You start to figure out where your body burden is and how much you can handle before you tax your stress load. So as we go through, we start taking stress out of your bucket, and it allows then for you to have that that space in your bucket to then be able to go and do those workouts that you guys need in order to stay safe on the job. But what happens to many as well is we need to get those hormones aligned. So we need to get the hormones so that you are getting more of that cortisol and that energy hormone up to a level that takes that gives you back that motivation and drive, that eases the anxiety, that gets your sleep to start happening in check, so you can actually fall asleep, because when you can't fall asleep, it's cortisol in your brain. It's that extra hormone flying around because it doesn't know when to happen. And when you're waking up, you actually have that cortisol energy waking hormone. So you need to get that done first. Start taking stresses out of your bucket. And once you've got your stress system where there is enough resiliency left, you can start adding in workouts. And then you'll know on what shift you can do kick butt workouts and on what shift you can't. You'll have to figure it out for you, because everybody's different. What happens on your shift is different. It could even be something as you either have it's a shift where a certain supervisor is there that totally stresses you out, and it adds too much stress into your bucket that you can't. Or it could be that there's a tough call. It could be so many different things. It could be things happening at home too. It could be relationships, financial stress. It could be caring for sick parents or kids. Like, there's so many different stressors that can be happening to it. So the more of the stressors that we can control in the body, the more you're able to handle those outside stressors. And then you can absolutely kick butt in your workouts, because we need you to stay strong. That is what you need to do in order to stay safe on the job, and to be able to have your quick reactive times, and to be able to do everything that your body demands of you in shift. So hopefully this has been helpful. Type any questions that you have in the comments here if you have any questions based on this. It really is a lot of trial and error, really understanding your body and figuring out. Just take note of the signs. Take note of how your sleep is after your workout, how your moods are. That's a big one after your workout, how your brain fog is after the workout. Take note of all of those things, and that will get to tell you, like, start noting these things. Start noting if it's the shift. So for police, you're quite a lot of you are 4 on 4 off. You may find that the first day on you're good. And the 2 days, that the 2 days after nights you can't work out. You may find that you can't do it on any of your 4, you can't do it on your first day off, but you're good for the other 3. You'll figure it out for you, but really make sure you list the signs. If you go to the unit section of this group, look for the burnout and overdrive checklist. There's a big checklist there, and kind of see if when you do a workout, if these symptoms increase. If they do, then that's telling you, then take note of what happened on that day to know that that was a day that those are certain triggers that tell you that you should not be working out, that is actually putting you worse into burnout. All right, that answers everything, I hope. Again, put your questions in the comments. I'm here to answer them for you. And if you have any questions, you want help with this is totally what we do. So in my 911 Elite Performance Program, this is what we do. We get your hormones sorted and aligned. We work that nervous system so that you're not switching into that hypervigilant state all of the time. And we get gut issues working properly so that your serotonin and everything all your other hormones can be working right. So the 3 of those things really work your stress management system, and making sure that all those 3 things are in check is what will allow you to handle all of the stresses on your job and kick butt in your workouts. All right, take care, and any questions, absolutely fire them away. I'm here to help.